What's up, guys? It's Tony from Streetball Strategies, where we use strategy to build your streetball legacy. Today we're continuing our series about how to prepare for when basketball comes back and we're all back out on the court. Today we are focusing on why winning will not be our number one priority when we all come back. Alright, so why is this? Well, it's a classic case of it's not about whether you win or lose, it's about how you play the game. And normally I would disagree with that. I would say it's about how you win the game. But these are not usual times or usual circumstances. So let me set the scene for what it's going to be like when everybody comes back out here. So as I've said, when everybody comes back out to the court, it's going to be packed day after day for weeks upon weeks. People are going to be excited to be back out on the court or just back out around people in general. And so they're going to be giving an effort of which is to play as hard as they can, to play as fast as they can, to get as many wins as fast as possible to be successful and to enjoy the game. What that frees up is the possibility for them to be playing recklessly. And if they're playing recklessly, they put themselves as well as you in danger of possible injury. And with them playing that way right out of the gate, trying to hit the ground running, playing so fast, so hard, and trying to get so many wins immediately, you give yourself the opportunity to start making mistakes and becoming frustrated, and through that frustration you start to build bad habits. And that's the focus of today's video, which is to avoid creating bad habits when we hit the court and focus on making good habits that we then repeat over and over to develop our legacy. And so what's very likely to happen when people get back out here is that because they're rusty, because they're out of shape, because they're so excited and happy to be back out here, their main focus is going to be on trying to win as much as possible as soon as possible. And when you focus only on that big picture of winning, what happens is you lose sight and you lose focus of what allows you to win and allows you to win consistently and efficiently, which is the details of winning, the details of the game, how to play the right way. The details I'm referring to are the small things, including the actual physical things you do out here, such as how is your footwork? Is it efficient? Does it allow you to do what you're intending to do? How's your passing? Is that efficient? Is it working the way you want it to? As well as details such as how are you doing? How is your game? What are the weaknesses? What are the tribulations you're experiencing? How are you dealing with them? What strengths are you experiencing once we all get back out here? What kind of teammates do you have? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are they struggling with? How can you help them to succeed on the court and thus be a better teammate towards them? What about your opponents? What kind of weaknesses do they have? Are you exploiting them? Do you know how to do that? Are you figuring that out in the course of time of being out here? It's those kind of details we should be focusing on. And what's going to happen is that most people are going to come on the court, they're going to hit the court running, and they're only going to be focused on winning. And when you only focus on winning, you lose focus on those small details, and those small details are what are going to allow you to win over and over again over time on the court. The people who are going to hit the court and only try to win immediately, they are playing a short game. They're playing checkers. They're only going to be out here for the first few initial weeks, and then as time goes on, their appearances out here are going to fade because they're not real hardcore lifetime street ballers like we are. But because we're lifers out here, we need to pay attention to those details and take them seriously and not lose focus on what winning means and how to accomplish it over and over again over a long period of time. So how do we make sure that we don't lose sight of the details once we get out here? Well, the first thing we need to do is slow down. Everybody's going to be playing as fast and as hard as they can as soon as they hit the court. we want to be different from them, right? We want to separate ourselves from them, right? So in doing so, we slow down. And what I mean by slow down is not only slow down sort of the way you play so that you're not playing at a frenetical pace once you hit the court, but also slow down your mind processes, the way you see the game, the way you experience the game. If you slow down how you think about the game, if you control your mind to do that, that's how you gain awareness of all those details we just talked about. And through the awareness of all those details, that's how you gain control. So don't be afraid to slow things down once you hit the court. Don't be afraid of being different when you come out here and everyone's playing so hard and so fast and you're slowing down your pace and your mindset. Don't let their play and their attitudes influence you and make you speed up your game when you're not ready to. A huge point here is to avoid making mistakes and doing that by slowing things down and having awareness. You're going to make mistakes regardless, but by slowing things down, by having awareness, you set the table for you to make many less mistakes than you would have if you were trying to keep up the crazy pace that they're going to be playing at once they come back and start playing. Also, a side note about frustration, as I mentioned in the last video about possible injuries, you need to keep in mind that it's going to be frustrating to slow the game down and to try to have the awareness you're going to need in order to pay attention to all of those details. Your nature is going to be to come out here and enjoy the game and just run up and down and have as much fun as you can and try to win as much as you can as soon as you can. That's the instinct that just street ballers have. And that's fine if you want to do that, but you have to keep in mind that by doing that, you're not building your legacy. You're enjoying the game, which is great, but the time that you spend enjoying the game is not time that's being spent building your legacy. In fact, it puts you in danger of building those bad habits of only focusing on winning and not focusing on the details. And making sure you stay focused on the details game after game, day after day, week after week is going to become frustrating because you're going to want to let loose and you're just going to want to have fun and start playing and winning. But what's going to happen when you focus on those details game after game, day after day, week after week, is that by doing that, you're creating momentum, right? The more often and repetitively that you focus on the same details time after time, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to notice them, deal with them, use them to your advantage faster and more efficiently the more you repeat doing it. And in doing that, in that repetitiveness, in building that efficiency, you're building momentum, you're building speed. So you're going to come out here initially and you're going to be playing slowly and you're going to be thinking slowly and observing and being aware slowly. But as you repeat that, as you become more efficient at that, you will then start to build momentum and build up speed. And yes, that's going to take weeks to do and it will be frustrating, but it is worth it because you're building in good habits that are going to last the rest of your street ball career. And over time, over those weeks, your rate, your effort, your speed and pace of playing the game is going to increase to the point of you running hard and playing hard just like everybody else was when they initially got back out onto the courts. But you're going to build up to that over time because you're building good habits that are going to last you not just the rest of whatever the basketball season is this year, but over the next few years. You're building in good habits to pay attention to the details of winning so that you can use that over time to win consistently moving forward. With all that being said, it does come down to, it's not about whether you win or lose, it's about how you play the game for the next few weeks and months once you get on the court. That is truly the case. Winning when we all get back out on the court. That's secondary. First is building good habits that are going to last you, and you build those habits by paying attention to the details, and that's the essence of how you play the game. How do you pay attention to those details? How aware are you? How much control do you have in order to hold yourself back and not play full pace as soon as you hit the court? Do you have the discipline? Do you have the control to slow down, be aware, and study what's going on around you, be aware of the details that are happening, and then adjust and adapt to them as needed? That's how you play the game, and that's what matters when we come back, and that's going to matter for the next few weeks or maybe even months until you build up that speed and momentum to be playing at your normal and what will be an improved pace that you've built over the last few weeks of playing, and that now moving forward is going to be more of a base and a foundation of your game that's been built on good habits that you're going to now carry forward. So thank you guys for watching, and I really do hope you guys do take into consideration seriously focusing on the details for a while once you hit the court again. Building good habits and having a good process to come back to every time you come back out on the court is something that is going to save you time and is going to very much benefit you going forth in your street ball career every time you come back out to the court after a layoff. So if you guys like the idea of that, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any further content. And please hit that notification bell so that you make sure that you don't miss any future videos. So thank you guys again, and I will see you next week.
Just look at me, son.